Recording now. And we'll be sending out the recording and also any like materials that we mentioned during the presentation in an email that will go to the same email you registered with on Eventbrite. So for me, for Here For You Concierge, we do some in-person services and also some virtual services. So what we're doing right now in person is a lot of organizing. We're helping a family of 4 with organizing every week. We are doing some commercial organizing for businesses and helping manage like a move of a commercial business. So that's been really exciting and challenging. And then we also do personal assistance. So any type of, traditional personal assistance tasks that you would think of, like, calling the cable company to get your bill lowered, or like, making appointments for other people, doing research for different softwares or, different products. Project management, we're doing a lot of that for a lot of people because, all of our clients are very busy, so we are helping them get their projects in order. And then, of course, errand running and personal shopping, my favorite. So virtually, we also are doing technology coaching for many clients, helping them get better using Zoom or just using their computer in general. We're facilitating online meetings. We're actually doing that right now. Downstairs, my team member, my husband, John, is facilitating an online meeting. And we are helping with marketing, doing some website updates, and writing blogs for clients. So today, we're going to be doing, here's our agenda. We're going to talk about the outcomes of the class, doing your needs assessment, things that you're going to need in your home office, choosing the right desk and chair, which is very important, hanging around the office, navigating your office space, and how to treat yourself. So Laurie, if I send you a text with or if I chat you with a email address, could you send out the link to somebody for me, please? Let me just get it real quick. Somebody just texted me and said they couldn't join. Okay, I'm gonna type it to, just 1 second. Okay, if you wouldn't mind sending that out for me, Laurie.
No problem.
Looking for the link. 2 people are looking for the link.
All right, send on the other one over whenever.
Okay. Okay, so today we're gonna learn about how to set up your home office for the first time, or how to rearrange it and set it up again now that you're more aware of what you need. How to know what your needs are in your home office, and how to utilize your home office more efficiently. So the first and biggest thing that most people will forget is taking a needs assessment of your home office needs. So Emily, she said that she's been working at home for a while now, so she can kind of go back and take a better needs assessment. And I'm in the same place where I've been in my home office for a while now, and actually 2 years I've worked at home and in person sometimes with other people's home offices. So I can readjust things that are not working for me and kind of rearrange my space because it's getting a little cluttered, we'll say. So I do need to do this as well. So for your needs assessment, you're going to determine what supplies you're going to need that you don't have. And there are 4 categories. So your space, your physical, where are you going to lay out your space, and how much space do you need? Because some people are working by themselves. Typically I work by myself in my home office, but some of my clients were working with 2 or 3 separate people, and they are like, you're gonna have to take that into consideration. Do you need more space? Like, do you need to clear out a spare bedroom or even install like a Murphy bed to get yourself the amount of space that you need in your home? And then your supplies, like what supplies are the most important ones that you'll keep right by you, like at arm's length. And last but not least, your budget, because a lot of times we want to have, you know, a complete home makeover, you know, a complete home office makeover, but our budget doesn't allow us to go and purchase brand new furniture or, you know, the perfect desk or, you know, the Pinterest perfect decorations. So you kind of have to be wary that you may be able to do it in stages, like, you know, invest in the desk first and then the chair and then the other accessories, or you might be able to just go and do it all at the same time. So the questions you want to ask, where's a good spot in your house where you can work without distractions? So having a door that actually physically closes onto your home office is very important. One of my clients, she recently said that, you know, her husband just basically locks himself in his home office, and that's how he gets his work done. And that's very necessary if you have, you know, if you have the whole day, you don't have a specific schedule, it's very easy to let like home and work kind of bleed together. So having a physical boundary like your door is going to allow you to keep them more separated. So I want to know, you guys can either, Jen, thanks for joining us, and Emily, you can either put in the chat or come off mute and tell us where is your home office, or are you going to be relocating it, or are you happy where you are? So let me know either in the chat or you can come off mute. And I'm just going to text these people back, sending link. So Emily says that her dining table is a home office right now. So that is, you know, that's a temporary solution. So I would say if you are going to be going back to work pretty soon, no big deal. But if you're going to be working at home consistently, the dining table, and Jen says the living room, those are not going to be long-term solutions, because there's a lot, you know, there's a lot of opportunity for it to bleed both ways. So like, you know, if you are working in the living room and a lot of stuff is going on around you, like, you know, the laundry is here and like you have to get dinner ready and just go back and forth, then that is going to cause your work to take a longer time. And then you'll find yourself working in the evening when you should have turned your computer off and just, you know, had home time. So the same thing with the dining table. Like if your home office is your dining table and then you want to go and eat there, you know, that's a big kind of hassle to clear everything off, and you can't have as many supplies. You have to be very like neat and tidy, and that's a big thing that can cause like home and work to kind of bleed together. And also there's the noise aspect. Like I know one of my clients' husbands is working at the dining table, and you know, me and her, you know, we have these lunches in the other room and it's really, really loud. So I'm not sure, you know, that that's the best place for him to be working. But let me see. So I'm sorry, everybody, we're having all these technical problems. Tickle pink. Good. Oh, okay. I did type it wrong. Sorry, Laurie. I don't know why they didn't get the link in the email. I guess everybody else got it.
I couldn't find the link from Eventbrite, but I did get it from, I think Lori sent it.
It wasn't on Eventbrite? Okay, that's
It wasn't immediately obvious. It might have been there. I just couldn't find it as easily there.
I think that's the better email. Sorry. Okay, so but yeah, if you have if you're in the dining room and there's a lot of room in the next, or a lot of noise in the kitchen, then that can be really distracting. And that's the ultimate goal of your home office, is to kind of eliminate as many distractions so you can work and get your work done, and then, you know, turn it off in the evening and be able to kind of separate your time. So that is a big thing. Another thing is lighting. Is your space well lit? Like, if you're going to be doing Zoom meetings in particular, you're going to need better lighting sources. So for me, I have purchased these little lights here, and they just shine right on my face, which is nice, and they're opposable. So that's how I got my lighting very well. But also, I've heard recommended that a pendant light could be good because it's a task light. And then the ultimate, probably the biggest thing that I would have to worry about is, are there enough electrical outlets to meet your needs? So for me, I have one four-way outlet right in front of me here, and then I actually have to plug that into a splitter, so I have extra outlets because, like I said, I have 2 lamps, I have a computer, I have a monitor, I have actually I have 3 lamps, so I take up a lot of different outlets. And outlets are one of the biggest things that you cannot really make much of a difference about in your home. You know, they're pretty much, unless you're doing construction, you're stuck with the outlets where they are. So that's a huge consideration when you have to set up. And then also the Wi-Fi, if you're on, you know, like a 3rd floor loft and your Wi-Fi is down in the basement, you may have some trouble. So, you know, either using a hardline internet plug, an Ethernet cable, which is what I'm doing right now, or getting an extender or another router so that you can have Wi-Fi where you are actually working. And how much furniture are you going to need? Like for us here, we have 3 different desks, which is too much. So we're trying to figure out, you know, what to get rid of and what we actually need most. And is it all going to fit in the space? So that's a big thing. And then what technology you're going to actually need. Do you need to have a desktop computer? Like Emily was talking about how some people, they were working off of desktop computers at their office. And actually my mother-in-law, when she came to work at home, she had to bring a physical desktop computer and monitor back into the home office area where she is right now. So that's a lot to manage and to plug in and to have space for, but sometimes you have to do it. And also, of course, I have to have a printer, so I don't like to I don't like to be without a printer. I use it all the time, and I like to print like different labels and like cards and stuff. So I have a Wi-Fi connected printer that is always right near me, so I can print all the time. But maybe you don't need one, you know? It's all about what you need in your office, and everybody's office is going to be slightly different. And of course, what is the budget for what you want versus what you need? So really think about that before you start like diving in, because a lot of times we want to just, you know, go in with no plan. So welcome, Kathleen. I'm sorry you had a hard time with the link. I'm gonna have to, she's still getting her audio, but welcome, Kathleen. Thank you for joining us. So sorry about the trouble with the link, but I'm glad you're here. So Kathleen, where is your home office? If you don't mind me asking.
Where is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's on the 1st floor of my house.
So in like a spare bedroom or like a living room?
It was the living room.
Okay. So we're just talking about doing a needs assessment and how to kind of figure out what it is that you are going to need before you start diving into your project. So kind of just planning out the space, the lighting, the outlets.
Okay.
So once you've done your thorough needs assessment, you're going to probably want to start looking at the different things that are necessities. So for me, you can see mine. I got headphones, a laptop, a planner, my cell phone, a pencil cup, and pens. and of course my glasses too. And you know, we have here in the pictures the coffee and the food, but for me, like we just discussed, I can't keep coffee on my desk. I have to keep it on a different desk or a table behind me, because I have had multiple spills that almost ruined computers and equipment. So, but one thing that I did invest in that I really love is it's actually a mouse pad that is the size of my entire desktop. And I got it off of Etsy a few years ago, and it is marble, like pattern. It was supposed to be marble with gold, but they actually sent me the wrong one, and I just kind of had to keep it. So I do like that because if I spill something, I can just like kind of clean this in the sink instead of having to like clean the whole surface, and it just kind of absorbs a little bit of the messes. And also allows me to take my mouse and move it all over anywhere I want on my desktop. So for that, that's kind of like an extra thing. That's an aesthetic thing. It makes my desk look like nice and fancy. And it's still very functional because it helps me have more flexibility in my space. So you don't want to have a bunch of extra random things all over your desktop because that can be distracting, and then it's hard to find the things you actually need when you need them. And it's helpful to make a list or a diagram of everything that's a necessity versus a luxury item on your desktop. And also, my favorite thing is that like I said, I have to have certain things at the reach of my hand. Like for most people, you will probably need a stapler at least once a day, and same thing with tape. I need tape all the time. And I got the cute little gold tape dispenser because you know, it's aesthetically pleasing. But the stapler is just kind of normal. I did have one that I spray painted gold many years ago, but this one works just fine and it's normal. And also the staple remover, for me, I use this a lot, and I spray painted mine gold. You know, we got the gold spray paint and we wanted to be all like DIY, so I did all my office supplies at that time. And of course the pen cup. I had a smaller pen cup, but I ended up getting this bigger one. I'm not sure where. And for me, the scissors, if I don't have scissors, I will scream. That's one of my pet peeves. So does anybody else have anything else that they're like very specific about having on their desk? Like me, like I pretty much have everything. I got scissors, I got a ruler, I got a highlighter, I got a library bookmark from Laurie. This is actually historical fiction authors, which I haven't yet to read these, but they look really cool. So yeah, I want to hear, everybody's kind of quiet, so somebody come and tell me what's their favorite thing that they keep on their desk. Is it a necessity? Post-its. Oh yes, absolutely. Do I have post-its here?
It's not a productive item, but on my desk for when I have those moments when I really need to think about something, I have this little cup of buttons, just all sorts of different kinds of buttons. Just kind of run my fingers through it and kind of stare off into space. And if I don't have that, it's really hard for me to really think deeply about something when I'm working.
That's really unique, Laurie. I've never heard of that. So it's just like a tactile thing for you? Are you a tactile learner?
Usually I'm a visual learner, but I just found that like the colors of the buttons and then just kind of like the texture, I don't know, it really helps. I can't really, I don't know how I discovered it.
That's a really good tip. Very nice. I also, some of the things that I have on my desk that maybe everybody doesn't have is I have a essential oils roller, Focus, and this one smells like bergamot, and I do use it occasionally. And also white out, gotta have white out, but I try to corral them in a little holder so that it's not just overly too much stuff. And then I do have a little thing, like you always have to have one or two aesthetically, like, you know, pleasing things. So for me, I have this little lion guy who my mom got me when I was probably like 12 or 13. And so this like reminds me of her. So I like to keep this on my desk too. But thanks for sharing, Lori. And then she says, Jen says in the chat, notepads for sure. Yes, absolutely. You have to have something to write down quick notes on. I like to use my planner for that sometimes, but also I do keep notepads on one of the shelves that are still handy for when I want to write specific notes. Like, and then Emily said that she keeps a platform nearby to lift her laptop up if she's on a video call. So that's a great tip for video calls. In order to have the camera that faces like directly to your eye level, putting your laptop onto a stand to raise it up, or I've seen people use like books or even a ream of paper just to give their laptop that extra little boost so that it's at eye level. But for me, I run so many video meetings that I've invested into a web camera, and I'll show you kind of like, well, it's not going to be as big of a difference here on my camera because I'm using my husband's laptop actually. I wonder if there is difference. So this is without my webcam, and then here is with it. So it's a much big improvement. And so that was like an investment of I think like $80. I used a coupon from Staples, but for me, I've gotten a lot of use out of it, and especially if you're doing you know, web presentations like we are, it's absolutely worth it. So yeah, Emily, it's a great improvement. It's like it's really noticeable too. And then Kathleen says she likes to use she likes Post-it notes and note cards to be able to write the quick notes. Absolutely. And sometimes you can get the little I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab something. You can get the fun Post-it notes from the dollar store that looks like a latte, or I just have normal ones too, but I have a magnet board, and actually I have 2 magnet boards, and I put magnets on the back of my Post-its so that I could hang them up on my magnet board. So that's a little pro tip right there. I think we talk about magnet boards in here a little bit further. So it's just about like what you are going to use every day and most frequently. Like I've seen people put everything into a shoebox so that they have it all and they can kind of like put that in the car, or, you know, move it around the house. So it just depends on where you're working, how much space you have, what you can all have out. And Kathleen asked, what brand is my webcam? This is a J5 Create webcam, and it was purchased from Staples, but our good friend Brad Finberg at Micro Innovation, he also has webcams available for purchase. He's in a group that me and Kathleen are in with TIP. So, and of course, some things you have to have, like, you know, definitely got to have your stapler, pens and pencils, staple remover. I use that all the time. And if I can't find these things, like, I really get stressed. Like, if I don't have scissors, like I said, I will scream, and it takes a lot for me to get upset. But if there's no, and also like the scissors, if they're not in the drawer where they're supposed to be, just forget it. So we also Kathleen says she likes to keep stamps because she likes to send out note cards. Very good tip. My stamps were on my magnet board, but now they're downstairs by the front door. Oh, can I type in chat what kind of brand it is? It's a J5 Create webcam. Sure. Okay. And then of course you gotta have the extra reams of paper, because I like to keep those right next to the printer, because you're always gonna be, if you're printing as much as I am, you're always gonna need extra paper, and it really slows you down if you have to hunt or go into another room to find your paper and extra ink. And for me, I'm gonna give this tip out for ink. A lot of people use HP printers, and they have this great subscription to their ink. It's called HP Instant Ink, and I have a link on my website if you want to get it. I think we get like each get a free month if you sign up through the link on my website, and that will, it connects to your printer how much ink you have, and they automatically ship you more. So you pay like every month for a certain amount of pages, and then you just get shipments in the mail, and it's so easy. And it actually saves you a decent amount of money. According to them, I think it saves you like 50 or 60%. Yeah, so it's definitely a great product. So it kind of like automates getting your ink. So we're going to share again. Back to our PowerPoint. So one of the most important, like, foundational elements of your home office is your desk and your chair. So for these, the type of desk you have is going to determine your workflow and how you arrange all the stuff on your desk. So there's different types of desks. You can have an L-shaped desk. You can have a writing desk, which has no drawers, really, no storage. You can have a executive suite type desk, which includes a full shelf and like a back. It's like, it has like a portion that goes all against the wall where you can keep all your stuff in cabinets, and then it has a full desk area for you, and they're all connected. And then you can also have a standing desk, which is what I have, and I love it. I actually have both regular and standing. And I think that's it. Did anybody else have a different kind of desk that I didn't mention? Maybe like a secretary's desk, but that is like an antique, and they're not really that functional because there's not enough space on the top of it. But, you know, if you're on low budget, you know, I've seen people that set up 2 sawhorses and put an old door on top of it, and that's their desk, and they're good to go. So, you know, it kind of depends on your style and what you need it for. So you have to consider how tall you want it. Because if you're very tall and, you know, your desk is short, that's going to create an uncomfortable situation. You won't want to spend much time there. Same thing, vice versa. And then the shape, like I said, there's L shape, there's U shape, there's all kinds of different shapes of desks. And of course, your storage. So like I mentioned, the writing desk has 0 storage. You would have to probably purchase a cabinet or a rolling cart to put all your stuff in, because there's no drawers or anything. And Jen says she has an IKEA desk, not the greatest, but it works. Absolutely, I love IKEA. Our desks, I think, are from, 1 is from Staples and then 2 are from Target. But if you try to go to Target right now, you're not going to find a desk, because we were there shopping for furniture and they're like completely out. So IKEA is great, and they have a lot of different options for storage too. And then having a separate area for me is very important. Like I said, I have my standing desk right here, which I'm standing at, and then I have a sitting desk over there, and that's where my printer is. It's close enough, but it's not like taking up half of the area on my desk, so I like it. And then your chair. The chair is also extremely important to the comfort of your home office and how much time you're going to spend there. So I just shopped for a new chair. I shopped all over, like it seemed like I was on every website. I was looking for like 2 weeks, and I ended up going with a counter height stool for my standing desk, and it has a back to it, but I probably should have gone with like a higher back chair. Kind of messed it up a little bit, but we'll get there eventually. So this is a counter height stool because of my standing desk. I had to have a taller chair. I couldn't just buy like a regular rolling chair like I used to use. And yeah, you'll see at Staples, like they have like the Sleepy's brand rolling chairs, and they have ratings on them for how many hours you can actually sit on them, which is great. And one of my clients, they had, I think a chiropractor or someone told them to purchase a gaming chair, and that's actually more ergonomic because you're meant to be able to sit there for many hours. So that was a good tip. And just, you know what you're getting for your money. Like a lot of times these chairs are very expensive because of their aesthetics, and not exactly because they're the most comfortable or because you can sit for hours. And so if you're going to be buying a chair at like, you know, Home Goods or something, they might be really nice to look at, and Pinterest perfect, but you're going to be uncomfortable, especially if there's no back. So when we're hanging around our office, you have to, well, you don't have to, but you know, it's a good idea to use your wall space. So you can see for me, I have my wall space behind me, and I have a calendar and my chamber membership, and also my company's logo and name and everything, because I do all the video meetings. But in front of me, I have, like I said, a magnet board, and on that I keep my monthly calendar printed out from Google and my weekly calendar printed out from Google. So I love to use my Google Calendar because I can on the go make my events, send share them with other people. I can move them around, like drag and drop them. But at the end of the day, I like to see my schedule, and that helps me be more aware of my time. So I print it out every week. I print out the weekly and just look at it and just make sure I'm aware of the things that are going on that day. And of course, same thing with the monthly. Like if there's a big event, I want to keep abreast of it and make sure that I'm aware that that's coming up next week or whatever. And then I also keep a couple of other little things on my magnet board. I'll grab them for you guys. Today, and you guys can grab if you have stuff hanging on your walls or anything you want to show off. Feel free to grab it. We'll do our little show and tell. So I have a unicorn because I love when people call me a unicorn, and you know, it makes you feel so special, and like, you know, like they searched for you or whatever. And the unicorn, my best friend and her daughter, they love them. So I just really love unicorns. And then I have a little alpaca because I also love alpacas. I don't know if anybody else likes them, but I really like alpacas and llamas because they're just like really cute. And also this one is from the alpaca farm that's right in, I think in the Lehigh Valley. I forget what it's called, but this is real alpaca fur, which is also very soft. And then I have a little picture of my family, my mom and my dad. So I can always look up at that and see them. And last but not least, I have an IKEA thing. This is Blockus or something, and it's really cool. It tells you the temperature, and then if you turn it like this, it's a timer, and then if you turn it like this, clock. So it's just like a little funny thing, but I like to use it for the timer or the temperature. So those are all things I keep like hanging on the walls. And like I said, I love magnets, so I'll, you know, paste a magnet to the back of a greeting card that I want to see. Like I also have a vision board that I created hanging right in front of me as well. So for me, I love using wall space. Any type of hooks or magnet boards or cork boards are really great for me because you can kind of like customize them and be creative. Combination whiteboard and corkboard, that's even better. So that's multi-purpose. We love that. And using it for inspiration. Sometimes I do like to keep thank you notes from clients up on the wall, or like a nice little quote from, you know, online somewhere. So yeah. So Emily, you joined us. Do you have something to show and tell us? I see you have some wall space. You have some gallery photos in the background. Can you tell us about those?
Yeah, so I'm at my dining table, so I don't have like a wall in front of me. It's just the rest of the dining area. But the wall behind me, part of why I work at my dining table is because I already had these, they're postcards put into IKEA collage frames. So they look nice, but not too distracting. So it's a good background for video calls.
Very nice.
And then I've just sort of got space to spread out on this side of my dining table.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, I like those. So the frames and the postcards are both from IKEA.
The postcards were they were probably from Allentown Art Museum at some point.
Oh, okay.
But I like them so much that I'm like, I don't want to get rid of these postcards. So I found these really nice collage frames at IKEA that I've got a couple of those. That's like, this is my dining area, has
Wow,
like
look,
color
they're
themed.
coded. Super cute. I love it. That's great. I love postcards too. My grandmom, she actually, I have some of her postcards, like she put them in albums, like people would send them to her from all over. And so I have 2 of those albums that are really cool. But I also like the hand colored postcards, that the antique ones, so very nice. Thank you for sharing, Jen. Is there anybody else that wants to share? No? Okay. So next up, we're going to talk a little bit about navigating your office space. So here's a nice little picture of a home office here. But for me, right away, I see that there's a little bit of hazards going. You know, there's not much space to actually walk through. And then there are cords that are laying on the floor. So that's big safety hazard, tripping hazard. Can you see this? No. Now I can see it, right? Whoops. So everybody always has such a hard time screen sharing. I'm like, oh, it's so easy. So map out the space so that you can walk through easily, because you know you don't want to be bumping your desk, especially if you have coffee anywhere. You can definitely bump your coffee, get it all over your computer and ruin it, which has happened. Try to reduce any hazards by placing your workstations like directly next to your outlets, and using cord organizers, either using the little rubber things that help you walk over top the cords, like that's like a rubber thing, and then you put the cord in there and it lays flat. Or there's a special kind of tape you can buy that also does the same thing. But you can kind of avoid that problem by putting your desk in the right spot, you know, mapping things out before you start rearranging all your furniture. Also, for me, I like to be facing a wall. Like facing a window for me is a little bit too much distraction, but I like to look out the window. So like I have a window to my right that I can just look out for a few minutes or a few seconds and then just return to my work. But if I have the window directly in front of me, it's too distracting. And also it creates a glare. And also group your items together that are similar. So all my paper is all over by the printer, and I have 10,000 different kinds of paper and label paper. And these accordion files are really great for corralling all your different kinds of paper. So for this is full of different sizes of label paper, photo paper, card paper that is like creased in the middle, and the envelopes. And then also I have some other things in here. Photo transfer paper. I literally have all the papers. So, and I also use this for receipts. So for if you are a business owner, you're required to keep your receipts and have them like available in case you get audited for taxes. So I use this for a year's receipts. I'll like put the year on here and then use the 12 spots for the 12 months of the year. And that's how I keep my receipts organized. And you might, even if you're not a business owner, it's a great way to keep receipts. But also, if you, with the receipts, you kind of have to think of why you're keeping them first. So if you're keeping them because you like to return things, you might want to separate them out by the store that you had bought the thing at instead of by the months of the year. Because if you are, you know, you have to return something to Macy's, you're not going to necessarily like know exactly when you bought it, but you remember it's from Macy's. So that's kind of like a little caveat for receipts. So that would be grouping similar things together. I have one of these for paper, one of these for receipts for 2021, and one for 2020 still, which I can now put away and store. And it's always fun, like, you know, in your home office to give yourself a little bit of a treat. Like I said, I got my my fancy little tape dispenser at Staples, and kind of like I pick things up here and there that have been really good investments, but kind of at the time maybe they were a little like frivolous seeming, like my little thing. But I just got this from the dollar store, so give yourself a couple of little extra things, you know, because you're going to be spending a lot of time at your home office, and it should be a reflection of you. So having a little bit of personality in your like pen cup, or, you know, that's just like a little extra joy every day. So if you have not already, I would definitely love if you could follow me. We're doing like a question of the week on Facebook, which has been fun. And here's my little Instagram name tag. Does everybody know what this is? It's like, okay, so Instagram name tag, this is a little bit off topic, but you can basically scan this with your phone on I guess on Instagram, and then my account pops up or whatever. So it's just the same thing as typing the name in, but it's like a little cool thing. And then if you, you know, here's my website and my email if anybody has questions or about organizing or about the classes or anything. So now we'll open it up to questions. So anybody has questions about, you know, organizing, or, you know, setting up their home office or different office supplies, go ahead and ask me now.
I have a question.
Sure.
So what do you find is the best way for you to like file your, I mean, I know you have a couple of those accordion files, but when you set up files, how do you, like a file drawer or whatever, how do you like categorize? Because sometimes I think, oh, you know, like if I do a lot of training. So do you have one training file and then each individual like topic, or and something that I just purchased. I love the project folders. They're they're like about this thick, and they're plastic. And I found that I can put stuff in there and categorize them, you know, like that. So it's almost like I just pull out the plastic project box. I don't know what the name of it is. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just love those for like a lot of times I put all my training in there. And I just got a bunch of them to put, like, to stack them and just put labels on them. But it's probably not the best for like space, you know, like saving space. But, you know, I can just pull out that whole thing and bring it with me and then go through that. And I have manila folders in there with the different topics. But I go back and forth on what's the best, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I love to be able, the project folders also, you can, if I have a certain event that I'm doing or something, I'll put all the papers that I need in there. If I need a book or a whatever, and there's enough space for a book, and
yeah,
you know, like
so, for filing, I think that there's several different ways that you can set up your files. So it depends how much you have, of course. I like to recommend those plastic hanging file boxes if you just need a little bit of filing space, maybe for your personal, or if you only have like a little bit that you need for business. So for your filing system, I would always recommend using a straight alphabetical system. So group by topic. So if you're doing personal files, you could do auto is one category, you know, pets, you know, big categories, like you said, like training could be one big category. And then And those would be your hanging files. And then inside that, you could do manila files to subcategorize. But if you can, avoid having everything printed and have it in like searchable either on like a file system like you're on your computer or Google Drive. That will definitely save you some space, because it's great to have everything printed, but if you're printing everything, you're going to end up with way too much paper, and there's very little that you're actually going to be pulling out and using. Like a lot of times, like the filing cabinet seems where like stuff goes to die, like, you know, so like we have, you know, for us, we have, like I said, auto insurance is one, house could be one, but using those big categories and just a straight alphabetical system, I've been able to, like my husband will come and he'll be like, well, we need, you know, yada, yada. And I was like, okay, well, you're going to go upstairs into the filing box and look for this category. And he actually found it. And, you know, that saved me a lot of time because I didn't have to go look for it. So, you know, having the big categories and keeping it in straight alphabetical. And if you can, it's great to purchase the files that are all left justified. Like typically I'll see people when I come in, their files, they try to like put the labels like staggered and then staggered again. And that is really difficult for your eye to follow. So on your hanging folders especially, you want to keep all the labels onto the left. So you can just look straight down and see them all, and they're all in alphabetical order. And that seems to be the easiest way to file things. So if you have a business, which I know you do, you know, Mary Kay, that might require a separate file box or a separate file drawer. And for that, I would do, like for me personally, I do all my clients alphabetical by last name, or actually it's just, they're just alphabetical files, and then the invoices go in each by last name, by date, and then at the back I keep my W-4 forms, and then I have a separate section for any subcontractors, and I have a file with each of their name, so that when they send me an invoice, I put it into their file. And then I also have a, you know, folder that's all W-9 forms, I think. And that way at the end of the year, I can just pull them all out and do all the 1099s. So that is how I would do your file system. It's just, you know, keep it in alphabetical, left justify the labels, and big categories. But what you could do for your training specifically is you could purchase a 2 to 3 inch binder and put the trainings in there, 3-hole punch them and put them into a binder. So that might be a little easier to like go through and to reference, and you can kind of keep it out on your desk. And that helps you kind of corral everything in one spot, but still separate it out. So to organize the binder, you might do, you know, tabs, like separator tabs that are numbered, maybe. You know, if you have certain topics, you always use 1 through 7, 1 through 10, buy that divider for a binder. Or you could also divide it up by alphabetical. You could buy an alphabetical binder divider set and do it, you know, by topic. So, you know, there's a couple different ways you can kind of handle that. But the project boxes are great. You know, once you start running, I would say don't purchase any more project boxes. Keep the amount that you have, and if you have a new project, you're going to have to take one out and clear one of those boxes to kind of cut down on the amount of stuff. So, so yeah. And then we also have a question from Emily. Do you have a type of printer that is recommended, laser versus inkjet? So for your printing, to choose your printer, you're going to have to first determine how many pages you're printing about per month. Like if you are printing 400 or 500 pages per month, then invest in a laser printer, because it is actually a lower cost per page with a laser printer, but there's an initial higher investment into purchasing them. And the toner cartridges are much more expensive. Like when you look at them you know, they are giving you a lot more pages, but they're more expensive because of that. So you're going to purchase them less, but they're going to be like $60 or $70 to purchase. But if you don't need a color printer, you just need a black and white printer, then an inkjet is great. Or not, I'm sorry, a laser, black and white laser printer is very economical. A lot of times you can find them used that are still working. Like if you work with a printer company like that refills the inks, like they might have one used that is a high quality, but you know, just the company upgraded or whatever. But just look at, if you're printing like, you know, only 30 or 40 pages a month, then go with an inkjet. And I would say that I really do like the HP printers because of the instant ink subscription. Like for me, that just makes my life so much easier, never running out of ink and getting it shipped to my door. And it does save me money on the cost of the ink. But there's also these Canon, what is it? I think they're Canon smart refill inks, where that's like you buy the bottle of ink and then you just like refill it yourself. So that seems like the next best thing to the HP instant ink. Because sometimes people have problems with HP printers connecting, or like they wear out quickly. So, so yeah, that would be my recommendation. Does anybody else have any other questions? Kathleen loves our HP printers. Yeah, I like mine a lot too, but sometimes they do have a hard time like staying connected. Like if you're, for me, I unplug my laptop and I take it in my backpack and then I come back and sometimes I have a problem. But if you have a printer, if you have like a desktop, or you know, you're not connecting and unconnecting your laptop, then I think they're fine usually. And Jen says that,
Oh, okay.
what's that?
No, I was going to say, I have an HP Tango printer that somebody had recommended. Actually, I have two printers, but the HP Tango, it's an awesome printer. And if you make cardstock prints, like the HP, usually it goes, you know, it goes in and then goes around, and it's kind of hard. But this, they sit out and they just go through. But it's a really good photo printer. And so you can do 4x6 or 5x7s. And when you do the Insta Ink, they don't take, all your pictures are free. So they don't take any
Pages.
They don't use, you know, they don't take any of the number of pages or whatever. And they're fairly good pictures. It's of good picture quality. And so I have that one just for my prints if I want to do photos, and then for my cardstock. And it's really nice. And it closes up and it's about, I don't know, it's not really that big, and it's about this high. It sits right on the desk and it doesn't even look like a printer. You open it up and it's really nice. So that's something to think about, especially if you do photos, like photos of whatever, you know.
Right.
So
yeah,
just a thought.
Mine is I think a HP Photo Smart, or HP Envy Photo.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it also has a little tray right above the paper tray that is for photo paper,
Photos, yeah.
4x6 paper.
Yeah.
And I use that because I have one client who gives me her photo albums, like her family photo albums. And then I am creating little 4x6 card description cards that are like all typed up. And because she just usually handwrites them. So I'm just typing them, and that is really great for that, because I use the matte photo paper in my printer, and just it just prints out pretty much perfectly. But
Good.
like Kathleen said, if you're using cardstock or labels or any other kind of specialty paper, it's important to set that setting when you go to print. You know, if you have to use like the print system dialog, or if you have to set actually on your printer or somewhere on your drivers or whatever, just try to make sure that you're selecting that type of paper because you can run into issues. So, yeah. We talked about printers, we talked about filing, and another thing with paper is that, you know, you have to get rid of it. You have to get rid of a lot of it. And, you know, the ways that we talked about different ways to do that at other classes. You can use scanning apps, like HP has actually a scanning app, or I used Evernote, or, you know, you can scan it right onto your computer and store it on your files or Google Drive. But just like reducing the physical volume of the paper that you have will allow you to find it more easily, and also saves you a lot of like space because it takes up a ton of space. And also there are ways that you can reduce the amount of incoming paper into your home. You can opt out of credit card offers. Like on every credit card offer, there is a phone number they're required to include that allows you to call and opt out of all offers for, like, you know, a certain amount of years. Also, if you're donating to charities, try to donate to only a few charities and send them larger amounts of money, because if you donate to every single charity, you'll get onto all of the mailing lists and you will be getting them until you die. Like, this literally did happen where unfortunately I had a client that died and he still had like 20 or 30 like charity offers, donation requests coming every single day. So it's, you know, it's really hard to get off of all those mailing lists. And then, you know, as the mail comes into your home, just getting rid of junk mail immediately, by just, like, you know, if it doesn't have your address on it, just throw it in the recycling bin. Or if it does have your address, I like personally, I use a little trash can for all my shredding. And then once it gets full, I put it in a bag and take it to Staples, because even though I have a shredder, it's just not, it's not nice enough to like handle the amount of paper that I have. So I probably should invest in like $100 shredder. Maybe that'll be the next thing I get, but for now it's just easier for me to take it to Staples. They put it into a locked bin and then they shred it all at the same time. And I think it's like $2 a pound. So for me, that, you know, if it's taking me like 20 minutes to shred all this paper and I can just pay $5, like I might as well just go to Staples with it. So that's some of the ways you can kind of like corral the paper. Also not printing everything out too, trying to keep it all on your computer, or, you know, where it's searchable. So, okay guys, so does anybody have any, we'll do one more question and then I'll wrap it up and end the recording. So does anybody have one last question? Nope. Okay, great. Well, let me know if you think of anything, and we will send out an email follow-up tomorrow probably, or maybe Monday, that includes the recording link. We're going to put this on YouTube to view in the future, and then also it will have anything like I mentioned. We have a blog that's on this topic too. I'll send that link out with the recording, and just let me know if anybody has any questions. Feel free to email me. And our next class coming up, Laurie, what's the next class that we have in May? Remember?
May, I don't have that at the top of my head. Hold on a sec. May we have coming up. Let's see here. It doesn't seem like it should be almost May already.
Well, all the classes are listed on my website, hereforyoupA.com/events is where I think you'll find them all. But we got something. What is it?
Planning 2.0 on May 24th.
Oh, meal planning. We're gonna be doing meal planning next month. So it's been a while since we did that. So I'm excited. And that's meal planning 2.0. So we're gonna talk about a little bit more like advanced tips, and hopefully we'll swap some recipes to bring your favorite like recipe that you can make out in bulk. And we'll hope to see everybody there. So thank you, Laurie, and thank you everybody who's joined us today. And we will see you all hopefully next month. So
Thank you, Melissa.
you're welcome. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.